Hey there, everybody. Welcome to DDO Players News, where we take a look at the latest from the world of Dungeons & Dragons Online and the tabletop. I am your host, Draculetta. That is right. It is just I tonight. There is no Pine Leaf. I had some weird issues going on today and had some things going, and we couldn't record at our normal time. And, of course, Pine Leaf is fast asleep by now because it's about 11:30 when we're recording this. So I'm thinking, who can I get to join me? We have the one, the only, Lessa.
Oh, thanks. Hi.
Hey.
I was like, he's going to say the other guy. He's going to say the other guy. The one, the only. Yeah, that's the other guy.
Yeah.
Never mind.
And, of course, you have heard of him mentioned on the show many times, but he hasn't ever been on the show. We have Rent to Pone.
In the proverbial flesh.
Yes.
Good evening.
Hey,
Good evening.
how are you? Thanks for finally coming on the show.
Absolutely. I've been, I'm honored.
I've talked about you on the show a lot because, well, see, I used to play in a static group with you.
Yes.
But now I find out you're cheating on me with another static group.
This other static.
But we'll talk about that later. But we have a little ritual here on DDO Players. The first time guests get hazed. So, Rent, it is your turn to get hazed.
Oh, Lord.
It's actually really simple. We just would like to know, what is your history with Dungeons & Dragons and Dungeons & Dragons Online, and how are you involved in the community if you are?
Oh my Lord! Well, all right. So let's go back to the 1980s, the most amazing decade.
The greatest decade.
The greatest.
I was about to say the greatest decade
that ever was. The 1980s, actually, yeah, early 80s. I got into D&D in the early 80s. I think the first actual adventure I played was like the Keep on the Borderlands module.
Yes.
And, that was
B1 and B2.
Oh, so
yes,
old
sir.
school. It was so great. I was in grade school, and I was at a cousin's house in DC, and he's like, "Oh, look at this game! It's really great. It's called Dungeons and Dragons," and from that moment, I was hooked. I brought it back with me up to Pennsylvania, and I showed all my friends, and again, there was just this the cadre of little grade school kids, just absorbing D&D and just living it. It was just so great. It was really, it appealed to the math nerds in us, the number geeks, the dice rolling, gamblers in us, the adventurers in us. It was just so great. So we had played D&D throughout grade school, throughout high school, and just on and off for decades. And when I first heard that there was going to be a D&D Online. I think D&D Online came, after Neverwinter Nights, if I'm correct?
Yes. Yeah,
Yes.
it was probably a year maybe after Neverwinter Nights, maybe.
Mm-hmm. And Neverwinter Nights was great. I enjoyed that thoroughly.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, and all the D&D computer games, we had to play every single one of them. Do you remember there was a D&D video game? I don't know if it was... I know it was for the Amiga computer system, which is rare and esoteric. But anyway, it was a Dragonlance game where you actually got to fly a dragon.
Dragon Riders of Kryn.
Did you play that?
Yes.
Wasn't that amazing?
Yes, it was. Yep.
It was like vector graphics.
Heck yeah.
But regardless, it was so great because you got to, it's like, I'm flying a dragon. I'm doing it. Anyway, when I heard that there was going to be an online D&D game, I'm like, of course I got to play. I tried to play World of Warcraft. I tried to play any number of those, MMOs, and I just couldn't get into it because I don't know, just none of them really, did it for me. But once I heard D&D Online was going to be a thing, I definitely had to play. And so it came out. I bought it. I bought it off the shelf actually, and I've been playing ever since.
What? You mean you actually went to a store to buy a game?
Back in the day, yeah, that's where we bought our software, in the store.
That's right, kids. That's right. We used to have to walk barefoot to the store.
We had to open the box, put the
right.
disc in the computer. And
oh, wow, you had disc? I just had like a bunch of floppies I had to install stuff with.
Nice.
The good old days. So There you go. See, I told you the hazing wasn't bad.
No. I mean, like I said, long, illustrious history with D&D.
Yeah, awesome. So how about the Dungeons & Dragons online community? How have you kind of gotten involved with that?
Oh, well, that's interesting, too, because I had played with Myth and Saba since back in the day. I think our guild formed in the first year or two of the game, so I'd played with them forever, and I'd always been listening to Jerry's podcast when he was doing the podcast, and Les had always been part of that, and when she had the cocktail hour, I was a big fan, and I always tried to get Myth and Saba like, you should listen to this Lessa person. She's funny, she's interesting, and one day, I think the stars aligned, and we all got together and started playing together. And
lies, lies, and conjecture. This man right here, he is responsible for the birth of the damsels as you know it.
What?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, this is a true story. I met Rent for the first time at Gen Con at 2:00 in the morning. In the hallway, he recognized me because of my laugh.
Okay, I have never heard this story. This is awesome.
I was playing an impromptu game of Werewolf in the hallway with just some rando people, and I don't know what we were arguing about, but when people play Werewolf, they argue. So he was walking by, and he came and found me, and he was like, "You're Lessa," and I was like, yeah, and he's like, yeah, I recognized you from your laugh. Like,
okay, that's awesome.
Must have been super loud, way on the other side. And then he came. We had a live version of the cocktail hour, and he came. He brought me a fifth of whiskey, Jameson, if I remember correctly,
that's actually right.
Which
yes.
I drank.
Of course you did.
And then he came up. He came up afterward, and at that time I was like, kind of on the fence. I was, wondering if I was too old to be playing video games. And
you're never too old to play video games.
He was like, no, I play with these two girls who are older than you. You have no excuse. Come and play with us. And finally, he talked me into it. And I played with him and them, and then we started a permadeath static group we called the Red Eye.
Yes.
Because we played late at night.
Mm-hmm.
And we kept that going for a long time.
See, I never realized Rent was in the Red Eye.
Rent is DDO Illuminati.
Oh,
you didn't know.
No, I did not. And I didn't know the whole, I knew you kind of got the damsels together, but I didn't know, the whole story.
I'm a shadow player.
I wouldn't know them if it wasn't for him.
That is freaking amazing.
I know, right?
So you know how big Gen Con is and just how large the convention center is. So, can you imagine the absolute minutiae, the minute odds for me to run into Lessa like that at 2
o'clock in the morning?
I just happened to be wandering through, and like I said, there's these impromptu games of Werewolf, and I just hear Lessa's giggle, and I'm like, that sounds like Lessa. And I'm like, and I'm come up, and I'm like, try not to be too creepy stalker at 2 a.m, but I'm like,
exactly.
Are you Lessa? And I'm sure she's wondering like, who's strange Asian guy coming out of the wood? And I'm like, it's Rent. And because of her cocktail hour, I tweeted in every week or so, and at least I
knew exactly who he was.
Oh, cool. So there you go.
That is amazing. That is an amazing story.
Right?
Yep. And the funny thing was Saba, and Saba had listened to the live podcast, and I'm like, oh yeah, I play with these girls who are way older than you. And Saba's like, oh, thanks for having us.
Thanks a lot.
We're not old. We're not that old.
That sounds like Saba. But anyway.
So it was amazing. So yeah, the rest is history. So
yeah, it's true.
Sweet. Yeah, and then
it's all true.
I forgot exactly how I got introduced to you. I think it was probably the damsels or Lessa. I can't remember.
It's probably me. I facilitate a lot of people.
Actually, you do.
Yeah.
You are an enabler.
No,
I know.
Just saying.
Oh, and the DDO News podcast, once that came out, and I forget how I was introduced to it. I think just because of the whole, everything orbiting each other.
Right.
It was just fantastic because it was so nice to get this fresh take on a game that we've been
I hear
playing
that
for
from
years.
everybody. Yeah, that's what everybody says. It's like, oh my God, these two noobs don't know what they're doing, and it's so great to listen to them.
Seriously, because you guys came to the party like 8 years in, right? About 8 years in?
Yeah, something like. Well, I had played previously for a little while, but not a lot. But yeah, so yeah, basically probably 7-8 years.
So, like I said, for you guys to be like, all of this is new, well, all of us grognards are like,
Exactly.
We've done this like a million times. But it's so nice to see it through a fresh pair of eyes. It's like, no, this is great, and it's just rekindled a lot of our enthusiasm for the game.
Yeah, I actually heard that from several people. It's like, it's so refreshing because we take all this for granted, and you guys are like, oh my god, this quest is so hard, and people are like, no, it's not, you moron, you do it this way and it's way easier, and then the damsels take me in them and get me killed, but that's another story.
Which is
as well.
so entertaining.
I
It's
know.
lovely watching you suffer and die.
I know. It's what I do. You're welcome. We actually have game news this week, believe it or not. It's been, I don't know how long when we haven't had any game news, and all of a sudden they decided to be very talkative on the forums. The devs have been very, very chatty on the forums this week. First up is Coco Majobo. He posted that the first pass of Lamania should be coming this week, and this is all scheduled to change, he said, due to testing of the build and other things. But Coco says U39 systems preview, so this will only be the systems, like the Favorite Soul updates and some of the other system changes. This will not be the quest. You're not going to see the quest, just to get that out there. But yes, U39 systems preview is tentatively scheduled to open from Tuesday, June 19th through Thursday, June 21st. And again, he says this is highly subject to change based on both feature readiness and build stability. So I guess our first peek of Update 39, but not the quest yet. I don't play a Favorite Soul, so I'm not that excited about that. I want White Plume Mountain. That's what I want to see. So I don't really know if I'm going to jump on Lamania or not when it's up, but should be up by the time this podcast released. If everything goes well, you'll have one more day to check it out, because once again, Tuesday, June 19th through Thursday, June 21st is the tentative schedule for Lamania. And then Linabelle was also pretty talkative on the forums this week. She let kind of slip. It was kind of in the middle of a really long thread, and she let this go, that Update 39 is going to contain a classic pack gear revamp with details coming soon. And of course, people are like, what do you mean classic pack gear revamp? Talk to us. And she kind of went on, and then finally, way deep in the thread, I mean, that thread has I think 40 pages. It's crazy. She did say it's going to be Fjarlin Carnival. The heroic items are going to be revamped. She said the numbers on this will be up when the Lamania patch notes are posted. And then she also added, before you ask, there is no ETA on those. Don't kill the messenger. And then she did also add that, as with all the other old loot revamps, you're going to need to reacquire those items to get the updated versions. So that means I have to run the stupid small problem again. I hate that quest.
No, it's not that bad.
It's not that bad.
I like the rest of Fjarlin Carlin, but I don't like that. But yeah, so what do you think about, I guess, we don't know what actually
New Epic Big Top?
Gonna change, but so yeah.
Alrighty then.
So, but that should be coming with Update 39 as well. But see, the way I read that, when she said the numbers for the new heroic item revamp will be released when the Lamania notes are up. So I'm wondering if that means that will be on Lamania that we can actually see, or they're just gonna tell you what the items are gonna be. Because technically that would be a system, so I would think that would be included.
I don't know.
But we'll see. But yeah, it's kind of interesting.
Done.
I kind of wonder why they picked Fjarlin Carnival to revamp. I guess there is some good loot that comes out of there, though.
It's an interesting chain. I enjoy it, except that, I don't know, I find that last part a little tedious. But that's
With
just
the circus?
The circus part. I just, the wheels kind of bug me.
You
But
don't like
other
that
than that, the high striker, all that yada yada.
You don't have to play the High Striker game if it's intimidating to you. I mean, just because your little
My little
halfling
halfling
arms
Yeah.
can't swing the mallet hard enough to get the diamond all the way to the top, it's fine.
Is it
Fine,
supposed
you
to
don't
go all
have
the
to
way to
play
the
it.
top?
It is.
Is that what I'm doing wrong?
That's what you're doing wrong. That's why you can't get the prize.
Pinpointing
You
my
know what?
inadequacies.
You don't want the prize anyway. It's just a bunch of dudes trying to kill you. Spoiler. It's fine.
Alrighty then. So yeah, that's something else we have to look forward with Update 39. And then we actually have a new dev, it turns out. There is a Lotro dev that has begun working over here on the dark side. His name is Faints, and he is working on updating some older Quest to fix performance issues that Quest might have. And he talked about this on the forums as well. He said, "This is something we have been actively looking to revamp. I just can't give you a time frame as it involves several different people, but rest assured your voices have not fallen on deaf ears. Depending on the difficulty of the fix and the time it would take to implement, we have been going through some of the older content and bringing it up to speed. At the very least, we have been focused on making sure everything is at least playable on player's computer. This past update, U38, saw some visual and performance updates to Spies in the House. I have not ran that quest for a while, so I wonder what they changed in Spies in the House."
You'll need to ask Saba Jade.
Yeah, I hardly ever make it to the end of
She
that.
goes there on the daily.
Does she now? Well, I will have to ask her, what have they changed? And then he says the new update, U39, will also contain a complete graphical overhaul of the Black Lock with both increased
What?
performance and visual fidelity.
Aw.
So you won't have to go through there when you go into the ship. Don't look at the water.
That's
Don't
right.
look at the water.
Don't look down. Don't look down. Look at the wall. That's right. No more looking at the wall. You can look at the Goonie ship or the water, I guess.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah,
Oh, so funny.
then he said, we have also been taking a look at several other big offenders. Yester Hill, which if you do not know is the Ravenloft quest with the lightning rings that is super laggy because there is so much lightning in that quest. And also he says Thunderholm and raids in general, but the extent of the changes to these spaces and time frame haven't been solidified yet. And then he says the TLDR version, we're working on it. So there you go. Spies in the House apparently got an update. Black Lock, as Alessa said, you won't have to look at the wall anymore. They're supposedly figuring out a way to fix that, so we'll see. And it sounds like they're going through a lot of the older content, and anything that was, kind of laggy or whatever, they are trying to increase some performance. So, and I know they had done this previously with some Lotro stuff, so I'm wondering if whatever fixes they did over there, the two codes were close enough to where apparently he was the dev that did it on Lotro, so he could come over here and say, oh yeah, I can probably do the same thing. And then, but wait, there's more. There is more Update 39 news. As I said, the devs were very, very talkative this week. Knockback also said to help clear a few things up about Update 39. Update 39 is going to have 5 different quests. One of those quests is going to be White Plume Mountain. White Plume Mountain will be a cap level quest, CR9 in Heroic, and CR32 in Legendary. So yes, their version of Black Razor, if you don't know, Black Razor is one of the sentient weapons that is prominently featured in the pen and paper version of White Plume Mountain. It's one of the items that you're actually asked to go to White Plume Mountain to get. So he said, yes, their version of Black Razor will be a level cap item. So that is going to be a legendary 32 level item, apparently. Wow. And then this is kind of where it gets interesting. The other 4 quests will be a variety of levels. Their current plan, which is always subject to change, are 2 new quests at level 6 and at level 21, 1 quest at level 6 and level 23, and then 1 quest at level 6 and level 25. So it looks like
cool.
They are looking to do some stuff in epics, which I know a lot of people, are complaining once you get about to mid epics, there's not a lot of stuff to do. You just have to run the same stuff over and over. So subject to change, of course, there might be some new epic stuff to run.
That tells me that I no longer to run the tomb quest for favor.
Is that what it is?
I can just
TLDR.
I can just skip those and then make it up with some of this new stuff.
So wait, are you telling me that you're not a big fan of the tombs? change?
Me, not so much.
Some of them, few of them.
The tombs of the Sanguine Heart.
Come on,
Heart,
no. I'm fine with those. Those are fine.
Oh.
The next tier, not the next tier, the one with the water. And
Oh,
the rats.
yeah.
The rat maze and the one with the water and all the swimming.
So much swimming.
Tell us how you really feel about it.
No, well, I'm sorry. I mean,
it's all right. We're friends here. It's fine.
Just
It's a
extra.
safe place.
This is a safe place.
It's a safe
That's right.
space. I can say how I really feel. Okay.
So yeah, once again, that's 2 quests at level 6 and 21, 1 at 6 and 23, and 1 at 6 and 25. So I guess that's what they're looking at. Of course, it's subject to change. And I know a lot of responses on the forums to this was very, very positive. People think this is a good thing they're thinking about doing and direction they're going. So I guess we'll see if they actually do it. And then Knockback also added, they have never done a quest pack like this before in the free-to-play era. And we understand that the setup is a little unusual, but we do hope that people who have been waiting patiently for something different to play at level 6, our new loot in the low epics, will appreciate what they're going to do.
Cool.
So
Alrighty then.
I can't wait. So yeah, update 39. Hopefully within, if they do a systems preview this week on the Mania, usually what happens is then the next week, or usually week and a half, 2 weeks after, we usually get the quest update on the Mania. So I guess we'll see if that falls in place as well. And then also we got our first look at the new favorite soul tree, the Beacon of Hope. And I took a look at this and I'm like, I don't understand any of this. This is all like mumbo jumbo to me.
I've never tried to play a proper favorite soul.
I've never rolled one up. 10 years of play, I never rolled up.
Just not. I don't know. For different reasons. I don't play a monk because it just seems overly button pushy complicated, and I don't understand half of the things that I read about the monks. So I don't know. I don't know why I'm not playing a favorite soul, or never played a favorite soul. Maybe because I play the real version of a battle cleric, a paladin.
That's exactly right.
Oh, what? I'm sorry.
Again, safe space.
Wow.
Safe space. We're all fine here. Safe space. It's fine. Steel Star does say the Beacon of Hope is a healing and buffing focused tree, and this is scheduled to release when Update 39 releases. There was some interesting things that I did notice. You are getting Raised Dead as an SLA.
Yeah.
What?
Which I thought
Weird. How often are
That's
people dying?
Well, depends.
Yeah, that's true.
Where's Drac? Where's Drac? That's in direct correlation to how many people are dying, where they're dying.
You're saying you're gonna want a favorite soul if you play with me. That's what you're saying.
A dedicated favorite soul for Drac.
Understand.
Rinse, res, repeat.
Yep.
Duly noted. Also, Death Ward is coming as an SLA as well.
Okay.
Which, okay.
So it's an SLA in the tree?
Yeah. Yep.
All right.
So you can 3 or 4 spell points to cast Death Ward on each person. That sounds awesome.
Yeah.
And then the Core 1 ability is going to be a +1 positive spell critical chance and a +10 healing amp and a +5 positive spell power. And then if you invest heavily in the tree, skipping up at the Core 6 is going to be a True Resurrection SLA.
Oh, handy.
So it is definitely definitely very much the healing, and of course there is a lot of buffs, as you said too. But yeah, that's just the big things that jumped out at me was the Raised Dead SLA and the Death Ward SLA. And then you also get something that is called Closed Wounds. That is also an SLA. I'm not exactly sure what Closed Wounds does.
It's like a super quick heal.
Oh, is it? I was gonna say I'm assuming it's some type of healing ability, but as I said, I've never played a Favorite Soul.
There's not a lot of wind up to it. It's like a click, boom. There's not the sort of like 30, half a second sort of casting time.
Oh, okay.
Little surgical robots come out of Rent's fingers and go over to stitch you up really quick.
That's right.
Nice.
Nanotechnology. It's great.
That's awesome. This was met with a fairly positive reaction in this forum thread. Usually when these first looks, they put them up, usually a lot of people don't have a lot of nice things to say, but this one was fairly positive from what I could read. And then Steel Star also did put up a fact about it, and he said, why a healing themed tree? And Steel Star says, the Favorite Soul's 2 existing trees focused around offensive casting and weapon attacks, so this tree will give some good defensive utility and helps round them out with healing skills.
Interesting. I might have to give that a look. I mean, that's worth a look.
So, yeah, but this is supposed to hit with Update 39. Again, that is subject to change as well. So we should be able, once Lamania comes up this week, if you want to check this out in action, maybe test out a build you're doing or whatever you're thinking about doing. It's the new Favorite Soul tree, the Beacon of Hope. You can go over to the show notes, and you can link over to the forum article and actually read all about it. And maybe you'll understand it, because as I said, I didn't understand a word. I'm like, okay, it looks very healy. It looks pretty cool. Raised Dead, that's cool, so maybe I'll actually roll a Favorite Soul now. I don't have one.
I can see the use of multiple Raised Deads if you're doing a lot of Reaper stuff. Reaper stuff is very death heavy, I'm finding.
Just death.
Oh, Reaper madness.
Yeah, well, we won't get started on Reaper. I've done a little bit.
Oh, that's the whole point of this other static group. It's all Reaper.
Yeah. We're
all Reaper.
We're going to talk about that later. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, certainly. That's right.
Yeah. Then finally, elsewhere in game news, we have our Chronicle for the week in the community spotlight. The Munchkin Summer Games are officially underway yet again.
Oh, nice. What server is that on?
That is on, I want to say...
I think it's Kyber.
Kyber, yeah.
I think it's Kyber. And it's actually starting to spread to other servers.
Yeah, I heard that.
Virus, yeah.
I'm like, oh my god, it's like a Munchkin virus.
But you gotta play in the morning. They're doing it, I think, early in the day so that people from both sides of the pond can play.
Yeah, they say about it. With that being said, we have figured out the schedule for this year. They are continuing the Friday night, and then they also are doing Saturday morning as well. Mm-hmm. And as you said, that will give everybody in the States and overseas a chance to play. So yeah, there is all sorts of things going on. They are doing rating. Let's see. This weekend is Vault of Night 5 and 6 nude.
Really?
What?
Yeah.
That sounds amazing.
What?
Yeah, it's ENEH level 20 plus.
Oh my god, I hope somebody twitches that.
Oh, man.
So if you want to see some nude halflings and gnomes, there's your chance.
There you go.
Tempest,
remember we used to do the Tempest Spine runs naked all the time.
Yeah, they're also doing Tempest Spine, and then they're doing LN and LH Shroud level 24 plus. That's this weekend. That is what is on tap for the Munchkin Summer Games. But yeah, those have been going on forever, and as Alyssa did say, they are spreading to other servers now. So it's just kind of cool to see like events like that are player driven and player ran be as successful as what the Munchkin Summer Games has been. And then the Amber Temple project has now been completed, and if you're not exactly familiar with what that is, there were a group of players that decided they were going to undertake the... I don't know why they attempted to do this, but in the Amber Temple quest in Ravenloft, the cards in the holy symbol of Ravenkind that you need to get to complete the quest moves around, and it depends on what card Madame Ava draws for you, where it's at. And then there is also passwords that are needed to open some doors. And those are, the passwords are always in the same place, but the passwords are different for each door. And then there's also scrolls that will randomly appear. So they wanted you set out to figure out where each of these passwords are, where the holy symbol of Ravenkind will fall, depending on what card Madame Ava draws, and also the possible scroll locations as well. It took them forever to do this. They started this when Ravenloft first came out, but they have now successfully completed this. So if you want a good walkthrough map to where you can find everything you need to find, no matter what the cards may fall for you, this is what you need to check out. Good on them for attempting this. This is like way too spreadsheety for me. But it's cool. So yeah, and then Amber Temple is kind of a pain in the butt. It's one of the only Ravenloft quests that I was kind of like, yeah, it's all right. It's like that in the Curse of Strahd pen and paper, though. So they did it, faithful to the pen and paper, but it's just kind of a pain because those passwordy doors, and then you gotta. But anyway, so yeah, if you need help with that Ember Temple, there you go. Good on you for doing that. As I said, craziness to even undertake that. We also have our fansite news sections, of course. DDO Cast had their latest episode. They talk about level 30 and beyond. That is in episode 520. Cannot believe they are up to 520 episodes.
That's crazy.
That's insane.
Really crazy.
That is just insane to me. Full Moon Fury. I always say furry. I don't know why.
Did you just?
I always say that every time I talk about that. I say furry every time. I don't know why. Oh, let's try that again. Full Moon. God, I'm gonna do it again. Screw it. That full moon thing is checking out Nox scrolls. Every time I do that. The Inkwell Society, that was a pen and paper game, actually, that just wrapped up over on their Twitch channel. Ginger Spice is running Reaper on video, so check that out. Sib is heading back to Korthos. Why you would want to do that, I don't know, but click over to find out why Sib wants to do that. Streaming with Even is running some Heroic Shroud 2 Manningham. Baklagor had a father and son run on Fridays on Ice. And Brighter Days Ahead is back from the Caribbean. I want to go to the Caribbean. I wouldn't ever leave if I went there.
I think Les's new name should be, her werewolf name should be Full Moon Fury.
Yeah, I swear every time I do that, and I don't know why.
Full Moon Furry.
I look right at it, and I know it's not furry, but I'll be damned if I don't say furry every time.
Like the other cult classic that we like to watch, Kung Furry.
Kung Furry.
What?
Oh my God. We also have our Chronicle comment for the week, and this is a very interesting question. Which Padre Hero die do you feel most represents you?
D12.
Why a D12?
I don't know. I've always loved the D12. I don't know. Some people D20, but me, D12. Yeah. It was always my favorite. I think, was that old school battle axe damage or great axe damage, D12?
Great axe, I think, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So how about Lessa? Which dice represents you?
D20, because you can pretty much apply it to anything.
Mm-hmm.
Any situation. Just roll a D20. You just keep talking until the DM says, just roll a D20. Fine. I got my way, sort of.
You know, Drac, I have one of those D20 ring spinners.
Oh, do you?
Yeah. So on my left hand, I have my wedding ring, and on my right hand, I have my D20 spinner ring. And it's because I'm married to my wife, and I'm married to gaming.
Oh! Snap!
I know, right? Oh, I know. Such a nerd.
You are.
Geese are geeks for the win.
You live in your own basement.
I do. Oh, that's the rent quote of the week. You can judge a geek's level of success by whose basement he lives in. I live in my own. So. My own
He's on the
basement.
top tier.
Yeah, I'm a top tier geek. Yeah, I haven't even achieved my full form, my final form.
My final form.
He has one more evolution.
That's right.
Oh, God, that is great. That is awesome.
After you, sir.
My answer to that question, I think, is the D4 because I'm just a little odd.
Oh, and they also serve as caltrops.
Exactly. See, if I want to keep people away from me, I just drop a bunch of D4s, and I'm like, good luck. Because who among us has not ever stepped on a D4?
Oh, the worst.
It is the worst, exactly. And to wrap up our career article this week, we have our official screenshot of the week, and that is a silhouette. Can be seen near the Emperor in the 369th DDO screenshot of the week, and that is from Vavul, I guess I'll say. I don't know how to pronounce his name. Again, if you listen to the show, you know I mispronounce people's names. It's what I do, and apparently I say furry all the time. I don't know why. That's a pretty cool screenshot, though, because I'm not sure how they actually they timed it. Like, how long did they have to stand there to time it to actually get the dragon in the screenshot with the Emperor in the harbor? I'm like,
I didn't see it.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
It's a pretty cool screenshot, but I'm like, you had to stand there forever and just like, okay, it's coming, screenshot. And then, oh, no, that didn't work, and then wait, so yeah. Cool screenshot indeed. Let's move over into our store sales. See what we have on sale this week over in the DDO store. We have 20% off select low-level adventures, +2 ability tomes, character slots. Those are through June 14th. And the weekly coupon is going to get you a lasting heroism potion. You get 5 of those potions when you use the coupon code HERO. And that also runs through June the 14th. And now, let's move in to the non-DDO topic of the week, and that is Gen Con.
Dun, 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 dun.
Ooh, that was cool. That was almost in stereo. That wasn't even planned.
Either.
That was amazing.
It just sort of happened.
Yes, Gen Con is coming up, and we all love Gen Con here. So I thought, since we all love Gen Con, we'll talk about Gen Con. Before we get into our tips for surviving Gen Con, let's go around real quick and just talk about our history with Gen Con. So we'll start with Lessa. Tell us about your history with Gen Con.
My history with Gen Con. When did I first go? Was it 2008, 2009? I believe this is going to be my 6th or 7th Gen Con. Probably my 6th. I know it's my daughter's 4th. She's coming with me. Yeah. She started going with me when she was 11. And now she's finna be a sophomore in college. So it's been a while. The first time I went with just the not just people I was playing DDO with, but I went with sort of tagged along with them because I was also playing a Fantasy Grounds game with them at the time, or maybe it was Roll20. It was one of those. I think we kept going back and forth because they decided they didn't like one or the other for whatever reason. And I ended up with Gen Con at those guys for the first time and had a blast. And then the next year I went back and I took my whole family with me. And then it was like every other year since then. And I love it. I never get tired of it. It's adult Disneyland, I guess. You would think about that.
It is. Yeah.
You can't sleep. You don't want to do anything except go and have a good time. You don't want anything getting in the way of your good time. Gen Con is the priority.
Drac, do you remember that music video from I think the 90s where, there's a strange little kid in a bee costume and she's like a little outcast because she's a little kid in a bee costume.
Blind melon, no rain.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So she runs over a hill, and beyond the lip of the hill, there's all these weirdos in bee costumes that she communes with her people. That is Gen Con. So all of us little weird bees go to Gen Con to commune. I mean, it is really where else can you go where the entire city knows what you talk about when you say Thaco? You know what I mean? It's like it's amazing. It's just everybody speaks the same language. Everybody's there to have a good time, and it's super inclusive, and it's just so much fun. I think this will be my 4th or 5th time going. I'm on the every other year plan, so every other year I go, and this is the year. So,
and I think this will be my 6th, maybe.
All right,
5th or 6th, something like that. So yeah, it's but Gen Con has changed for me now because
When did you first go?
I want to say maybe 98, maybe
Okay.
99, somewhere around in there.
Wow.
And then,
Yeah. So that's a nice stretch.
and then I, kind of skipped a couple of years, and then I went again. I have been going regularly, well, other than last year, for the past about 3 years. I go every year. See, I have the advantage too that I can drive there. I don't have to fly there. Because I live like about 3 hours from Indy, so
Oh, that's not bad.
it's just a smooth drive in. So yeah.
So do you think it's gotten better or worse over the years, or what is it that's changed?
It's gotten bigger.
Mm-hmm.
I think it is getting better the way I think they're running it a little better. There's still some stuff that needs some work. Housing.
Housing.
Sorry, I had something in my throat. But overall, it's better. But the problem, and I know I've talked about this on the show a couple times, my biggest problem I see with Gen Con is they have outgrown Indianapolis. Indy needs to do something, I think, to keep Gen Con. They did renew their contract until 2020, I do believe it is. So after that, the contract is up in the air, and I'm just afraid somebody else is going to woo them away. But then again, what city could be big enough to handle it? Because that's a lot of geeks in one area. Yeah,
it really is, and that's the whole downtown part of Indy is overrun.
And that's,
I mean,
I have not been to a lot of other conventions, and certainly not one any near the size of Gen Con. I mean, I go to Origins every year, and that's in Columbus, Ohio. That doesn't take over like the whole city though. Gen Con, like for those about, well, technically, 4 days officially, but probably for about a week, Gen Con is Indianapolis. It takes over downtown Indy.
I mean, they're very, there's, you can count on a hand or two the conventions that take over towns like that, like San Diego Comic-Con, that takes over San Diego. Otakon used to take over Baltimore every year before they moved, and and Gen Con Indianapolis. And Dragon Con in Atlanta. Those are like the big ones where the whole city basically transforms itself to cater to the con for the week. And yes, Gen Con is huge and it has outgrown Indy, but I can't imagine where could you put it that it would be a more comfortable fit.
That's exactly it. And I have posed this question on the show many times. I can't think of many other places that could handle it. The obvious answer would be Vegas, but I really don't think Vegas can handle it.
Oh, that would be a clash of cultures right there.
Yeah, it would.
Could you imagine? Oh, man.
Yeah, that would be like on the weird years where there's actually football, there's preseason football games. Talking about clash of cultures, it's like you have your sports geeks, and then you have your gaming geeks, and then it's like, wow, yeah. But yeah, Indy is building new hotels. I know they're actively working on that, so I think they're trying to alleviate the problem. But that's the biggest thing I see wrong with Gen Con is the lack of hotel space.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the server melting lottery that's involved every year.
Oh,
it's just insane.
I hate the lottery so much.
It really is the worst.
That housing lottery is horrible.
It really, really is. Luckily, this year I lucked out. But every other year, other than that, if I didn't have business interests or folks who had ins with hotels, it would not be a thing. We would not be able to stay downtown.
And another thing for me that's changed for Gen Con is I don't get to I want to tread lightly when I say this. I enjoy Gen Con, but not the way I used to, because now I go as press. So I'm quote unquote working a lot. I'm doing a lot of interviews and stuff, which I don't mind. I like that. It's fun. And I still do get to play some games, but I have to tread very lightly on like how many games that I play, because they do check what you do. So they want to make sure that you're there for the reason you said you're going to go.
Right.
So
you just can't go nuts and
right. Yeah, exactly. It's like, okay, I'll do like one interview and then I'm just going to play games for like 4 days. No, it doesn't work that way. I love it. It's great. It's Gen Con. It's just awesome. So if you're going to go to Gen Con, what are some good tips to survive the experience. Let's say you have never been to Gen Con ever, and you're like, I want to check this Gen Con thing out.
Yeah, I'm going to go to Gen Con. Well, first of all, the time to decide to go to Gen Con is not right before Gen Con. The time to decide to go to Gen Con, you need to start planning a year in advance.
At the very least.
At the least, you need to start planning a year in advance, because what do? You get to sign up January?
Yeah, usually
January, for your badge.
Mhm.
And
mid-January, yeah.
And then we do the housing lottery, March or something like that? Yeah. You gotta be on it. If you're not on top of it, then you're screwed. You're shortchanging your fun, basically. So unless you know somebody who's already going, and then you can just sort of tag along with them to see what it's like. But no, you gotta plan to go to Gen Con and plan for everything to cost more money than you expect.
Yeah, exactly.
Plan to do a lot of walking, because the convention center is enormous.
It's
and
massive.
you might only have 10 or 15 minutes to get across the convention center to your next game. So, and that's the other thing you got to do. You get to shop for your events online as soon as they open up the events. You get to sort of browse around and see what you want to get into or sign up for and try. And all the games, honestly, they don't cost very much, most of them. Some of them are kind of expensive. Like if you're going to do True Dungeon, you're looking at money. Or I think some of the stuff where you actually get to take something home, like if you're going to build a foam weapon, or if you're going to make, I think one year I made a steampunk cat with Samus, and
which was lovely.
$70.
What?
Holy shnikes.
I still have it. I went and got goggles for it. It looks great.
I would hope so for $70. Jeez.
$70.
Holy shnikes.
So
I want to
that
make some
was money.
chainmail.
But everything else, like the stuff that I usually sign up for, is like $4, $2. When here's a board game that I want to try, and it's cheap, and I just boom.
Yeah,
Make my schedule. Yeah.
I would say a good percentage of the events are anywhere between like $2 and maybe $6.
And they're fun. They're fun.
Super fun. I've never signed up for an event that I was truly disappointed in.
I'm trying to think if I have.
When you talk about walking, you don't understand how much you walk.
You're not going to have a problem getting your 10,000 steps in. In fact, you'll probably have your 10,000 steps in by lunch.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
I was
right
averaging
now-
like 20. It was insane.
Yeah, right now, every single day, you need to be getting in 1 to 2 miles at a minimum, walking, whether it's on a treadmill or around the block or up and down your own hallway at home.
Because
You need to be walking so that you don't have anything standing in the way between you and your fun when you go to Gen Con.
As we said before, save save space here, right? We're all gamers. We love all gamers.
We're not in the best
We're not in the best shape. Exactly. Some of us more than others, but you need to get ready for it, folks. It's
You gotta train. You can't win if you don't train.
Ice those knees.
Yeah.
Bring the ibuprofen.
And it's amazing too that just you don't think about how much you're going to walk, but there's walking everywhere. Like you're going to walk the convention center itself and the show floor, which is huge. Some of your events might be in one of the connecting hotels, so you have to walk to the hotel. Maybe
you might have to walk all the way down to the Hyatt, and you just don't even realize it.
Right. Or maybe your hotel is 3 or 4 blocks away. You couldn't get something that was downtown. You're going to have to walk to that.
White Castle's a block away.
That's I'm going to say in the food. Some of the good restaurants, 3, 4, 5 blocks. You're going to walk unless you want to pay for an Uber every time, but
You're not going to want to do that. That's beautiful.
Just walk.
Yeah.
Everything's walkable, but again, walk.
Walk.
Yeah.
And then the other nice thing is if you don't ever want to go outside, you don't have to.
Exactly.
Nope.
You can stay inside because
stay in the air conditioning.
All the hotels are connected. There's skyways connecting all the hotels. So it's great. If you don't want to walk outside, you don't have to, but you're still going to be walking.
I once took a friend of mine from the Tilted Kilt back to the convention center without stepping foot outside, and he was like, "How did you do that? It's like
it's magic.
It's like going through ant warrens or something, tunnels and rooms and corridors. It's like, how did you know?
What is this sorcery?"
I know.
In the know.
was like that weird platform in Harry Potter. Just walk through it and you get there.
The stairs move.
I am so
Yeah.
sad that Kilt closed too.
That's the worst.
So sad. I love the Kilt.
Where are we going for the meetup this year? The
the
Gathering for Buffs, DDO
Gathering
meetup?
for Buffs.
I don't think they have selected a spot yet.
Okay.
The
Well,
bar that
whatever it is, y'all need to decide because I'm gonna be there early and I'm gonna leave early.
Mm-hmm. Me too.
And it's bring your daughter to the bar day. So
We'll see how that works out.
Yeah.
it's gonna work out fine. She's an adult.
Oh well, hey, there you go. Okay,
Yeah.
it's cool.
It'll be
It's
fine. It'll be fine. But we have a freaking werewolf game that starts at like 10 o'clock, so I have to be there.
2 words.
Yeah.
White privilege.
What?
cool. What? What? Whoa! 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 Whoa!
Does that
Whoa!
apply to the werewolf game or?
Oh no,
to the
that
bar?
is. Go to the bar.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
I thought you were gonna take that in a totally different direction there for a minute. I was like, whoa, 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 whoa.
No.
Let's back this truck up right now.
Wow. Okay.
Way to derail the show,
I
man.
know,
No,
right?
no.
Damn, weird.
Oh,
I feel so awkward now. I feel like I should be punished for something, but I don't know what it is.
Oh, that's awesome.
It's so funny.
All right,
Um,
let me change. Let me hardcore change the
That's
subject.
right.
Do it.
Talk about people who don't smell very good.
Oh, yeah.
Mm.
Because this is Gen Con and this is a lot of gamers and they sweat a lot.
Mhm.
We sweat a lot and that doesn't always smell the best by the end of the day, particularly. So the rule of 3, anytime somebody asks me, what are your tips for going to Gen Con? The first thing out of my mouth, besides you need to start walking right the hell now, is the rule of 3 applies. You need 1 shower, 1 meal, and 3 hours of sleep a day, or nobody is going to want to talk to you. I know that it's exciting. I know you want to do everything. You don't want to sleep. You want to get out there and do all the good stuff, but you need to eat a meal, you need to take a shower, and you need to take a nap.
Mhm.
Just do it. That's something that Tyrannos needs to get into his head because he's not planning on doing it, and nobody is going to be cranky. Like,
Yeah.
Man, he and
after
I just
24
don't
hours.
sleep. Oh, me and Tay do not sleep at Gen Con. It's like 3 hours, minimum or maximum.
3 hours is the minimum. That's what you need. Okay, boom.
Get
Human
the
needs.
3
I'm going
hours,
to take
yeah.
this nap. I'm going to baby wipe my, bits and then get out. I'm going to eat a granola bar on the way. That is my third tip is I always pack like a box of like granola or something like that I can stash in my room. My daughter actually likes to bring a box of cereal. And when you see her, she'll have her hand in that box of cereal, like buried to the elbow. And
People
by the
chow.
time we're done, the box is empty. Because I like to save my money and eat 1 good meal a day. And the rest of the time is just sort of grazing. So that way I can say, oh, there's this restaurant. There's a restaurant called The Ram that I like to eat at.
Oh, I love the
So,
Ram.
Yeah.
The Ram
And
was awesome.
I don't want to go there and think, oh, well, I've already spent such and such of my food budget. No, screw that. I haven't spent anything. Let's freaking do this. Open a tab, bring me a drink.
Don't let it go empty.
I saved all my meal money for this right here. So bring something that you can stash in your suitcase or your bag or whatever. Just keep it in the hotel. That way you're hungry. Like you can just eat handfuls of cereal like a caveman and you won't feel weak or cranky. What is it called? Hungry?
Hangry.
Hangry, yeah.
Hangry.
You're angry.
Angry. And then you can actually spend some of your food money on games and other silly things that catch your eye. Because there's going to be things that catch your eye, which is
so
my
many
next hint. Either A, leave room in your suitcase if you know you're weak, like I am, or you need to have a plan. If you buy something that is too big for you to go home with, for example, I have to get on a plane and go home. I can't just buy a painting and get on a plane with it. Why would someone even do that?
I don't
Like
know. Why
did-
would they, Lessa?
like I did one year, and then this is a true story. The first time I ever spent quality time with Draculetta, I was staying at the Westin, and he came to meet me. We have this there's this VIP room with that's where the Diet Cokes live. I don't know. And so we were sitting in there talking, and he was drinking all the Diet Cokes in my hotel, and then whenever we went to, because my daughter was finishing a game, it was like 1 a.m. or something like that. We went to walk back. I was like, oh, I have this painting that I bought. I had already bought it. Rent.
It's not looking
And it was
True
too
story.
big. It was huge. And I was like, there's no way I'm going to get this back
It
with
was
me.
a
He's like,
drow,
oh.
right?
So I threw all the money. Yeah, it was Dritz.
I
Like I say, let's be honest. It was Dritz.
I wasn't going. I'm not going to drop an F-bomb on your show, but it wasn't.
Go
just
for it.
It was not just a drought. It was fucking Dritz. You better respect and recognize.
Oh, so beautiful.
So I threw all the money I had at him.
She did.
And the painting, and then he could have kept it. And my money, but he sent it to me.
She's like, here, take this money. And I'm like, why are you giving me money?
He's like,
And
why
then-
are you giving me all this money?
And then she's like, stay right here. And then she
Stay
ran
right
up to her room. And next thing I know, there's like this giant ass Dritz walking down the hallway at me. And I'm like, what the hell is going on? And she's like, ship this to me. And I'm like, what? Do I look like UPS? I don't think
Yes.
so.
Yes, you look exactly
So-
like UPS.
And magically, it showed up at her house in 3 or 4 days. However long it took.
I think there is in the
Oh,
lobby
God.
of either the Westin or the Marriott. There is a FedEx station.
There is a cup there. I know there's one in the convention center,
There's
and
at
I
least
think it
one.
is the Marriott. Yeah.
Yeah, there's at least
So,
one,
yeah.
and there's a Starbucks in each one of those hotels too. I
Mhm.
know exactly where
God.
those things are.
I can name every Starbucks for you within probably a 10 block radius.
Mama needs her coffee in the morning,
Oh,
and by
hell
morning
yes.
I mean like 2, because I work nights. So 11 a.m. is pretty much the middle of the night for me. All right, so I'm done with my tips.
Any other tips?
Well, how about you, Ren? Let's.
Oh.
Yeah, Ren test tips.
Yeah.
Well, stay hydrated. Summer in Indianapolis is brutal. I mean, it's imagine 20, 30,000 geeks who may or may not have showered in 90+ degree weather. It's terrifying. So bring a bottle of water with you. Bring snacks. Pace yourself, because there really is. You have 4 days to see everything. You want to do it all. You want to see it all. You want to play it all. But really, don't burn yourself out. There's seriously, just pace yourself.
Mr. I don't sleep. Don't burn yourself out.
No, do what I say. Don't do what I do. This is professional advice.
Nice.
Yes, because by the end of 4 days, I'm totally useless. I am just a husk of a person. I just have to be sure to get back. Oh my god. Ask Tay about human burrito John last time.
Human breed.
So anyway, when you're at Gen Con, try something new. There are so many games. I mean, break out of your comfort zone. I mean, most people go play games that they've experienced or play games that they're used to. But check out new games. There's so much stuff to see. And some of my best games or some of my best Gen Con memories were just playing random games with random people and just having the time of my life. So like I said, if you are a tabletop gamer, you absolutely do owe it to yourself to go to Gen Con at least once in your lifetime, because it is the mecca of gaming. It is the be-all, end-all of tabletop gaming. Like PAX is to video games, that's what Gen Con is to tabletop.
Oh,
Well
was
said.
beautiful.
That
A
was
little
beautiful.
tear.
Exactly. Gonna say me too. A little
Cried.
bloody tears coming out of
little
my eye
bloody-
right now.
tears of blood.
Tears of blood from Jaculetta. And just PAX. Speaking of PAX, PAX had tried to dip a toe in the tabletop gaming world. They have PAX Unplugged.
PAX Unplugged. Yeah.
Are you familiar with PAX Unplugged?
Yep.
I went.
Did
to
you now?
Yeah, it was in Philadelphia. It was up the street. So I went to PAX Unplugged, and it was terrible.
I heard that from everybody that's been there.
Yeah, because and I don't know how to really put a fine point on it, but really, Gen Con does gaming right. PAX does it wrong. I went there, I paid my admission, I went in, and I left in about an hour. There was
Wow.
it really. I looked around and like, this is kind of beat, and it's really weird because I mean it's the same sort of game, it's the same sort of crowd, but it was so chaotic. There wasn't any easy way to see things. It was it was just I don't know. I don't know what it was about it, but it was not wonderful. So hopefully PAX will learn a lesson or two from Gen Con, figure out how to really generate user generated content, games people can sign up for instead of trying to hunt things down. You know what I mean? It was just strange and unwieldy. So Definitely Gen Con. If you're going to go to one con for gaming, make it Gen Con.
Amen.
And then my tips, to kind of add on to what you guys did, I'll just do some general Gen Con tips. You're going to see a lot of cosplay there, which is awesome and it's cool. Ask if you can take a cosplayer's picture.
Mm-hmm.
Don't just like walk up to them and start snapping pictures. I mean, just ask. I would say 99% of the time they're going to say sure.
No,
but,
absolutely.
you know, they might be going to an event or something and maybe they can. But that has happened to me a couple times, but they've said, you know what? If you see me later, I'll be happy to. But right now I'm, you know, going to an event or I'm meeting a friend or whatever. And it's cool. Just ask.
Every once in a while, you might see a drow dressed as Chang from Community, like Chang Community drow.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way,
It's gray with spirit fingers and a dress shirt on.
let me tell you, my cosplay from, was it 4 years ago? My cosplay at Gen Con from 4 years ago is still in the top 10 Google image searches for that character. If you go to Google and you image search that character, I am number 7.
Really?
I'm not going to mention it because I have a professional persona I have to maintain. I will
Okay, that's
text
awesome.
you the name.
Yes.
I'll text you the
Yes.
image. But yes, number 7 in the worldwide Google
That's
image
amazing.
database. I'm number 7. I'm
awesome.
number 7. So yeah,
And then
my cosplay game is epic.
Oh my god.
And then to go along with taking pictures of cosplay, for the love of God, do not do it in the middle of the freaking aisle.
Oh yeah.
Step to the side or do something. That nothing bugs me more than when you're walking to, especially like the vendor hall. It gets really bad in the vendor, like on Saturdays. Fridays are not horrible with it, but Saturday is usually the worst day for that. Like, just get out of the main aisle if you're going to take a picture. It's cool you want to take a picture of that cosplayer. It's great. Just don't do it in the aisle, people. Just don't. And then, you know, I hate that I even have to bring this up, but remember, cosplay is not consent, people. Do not touch. It's just, I shouldn't have to say it's wrong and it's rude. You know, they might be dressed as a sexy drow, but that doesn't mean you can fondle their drow bit.
Cosplay is not consent.
Exactly.
Just ask. I'll say it's okay. It's good. But
I
ask for it.
think we broke Alessa. I didn't think it was possible,
It's a possibility.
but I think we did. Oh God. And yeah, that's pretty much it. And then I think my biggest tip that I always tell people is when you're out and about in downtown Indy, like you might be going into the Ram or you might be going into some other establishment, be cool to the people there. Indy is so welcoming to us gamers. Just be cool to them. Tip them. Give them a tip when you order your meal. Say thank you to them. Be nice to them. Those people are working, and they have to put up with like us weird geeks for 4 days. So just be nice to them. And I cannot say in however many 5 or 6 years, whatever it's been that I've been to Gen Con, I have ever had a bad experience in a restaurant in Indy ever. They are so cool, and a lot of the places will embrace it. Like the wait staff will like dress up. They'll kind of cosplay themselves. A lot of places change their menus. Just be cool to the people. That's all.
Yeah, and the people of Indianapolis are so friendly. I mean, I don't
are.
want to really stereotype the Midwest folk, but man, they're so nice. They are very, very kind.
It's not called Hoosier hospitality for nothing. Yeah,
I'm serious.
exactly.
And I'm from the East Coast. We're just a bunch of a-holes out here, and that's just how we roll.
Right.
It's just. But
just remember what Will Wheaton says and do that. Don't be a dick.
Mm-hmm.
And you'll be fine. So now that we've given some tips on Gen Con, let's kind of wrap up the Gen Con discussion with what are we looking forward to at Gen Con? There's so much.
I know. The biggest thing I'm looking forward to is probably Werewolf with all of my friends, and then D&D and Korean barbecue on the first night. Probably, I think. Hanging out with my daughter, making cupcakes. I think one of our classes is making cupcakes.
Should we
amazing.
quantify the D&D that you're talking about?
If you want.
Sure. Rent.
Oh yeah, we're going to be playing.
Yeah.
We are going to be playing some pen and paper. It's going to be Les and I and some of DDO crew, some folks who aren't DDOers who go to Gen Con who are in our circles. But yeah, we'll be playing a big old D&D 5.0 opening night, and that should be interesting.
Yeah, I think my daughter is joining that game.
Absolutely, yeah. So
she's really worried because she's not a regular, tabletop gamer.
This is going to be role play heavy. It's going to be, and that's the beautiful thing about D&D 5.0.
That's why she was also super worried about making her backstory. She was like,
"Yeah, I'll be honest. I'm super worried about the whole role play aspect of it too."
I don't want to talk about my parents or whatever. So you should kill them. If you don't want to talk about them, make them dead.
Exactly right.
So.
But it's going to be interesting because there's going to be a slew of characters you guys are going to have to. It's a heist. You guys are going to be.
Sounds awesome.
You guys are going to be involved in a heist. There's going to be a lot of moving parts, a lot of ins and outs. You guys are going to have to. Gonna have to figure out which person is suited.
Oh, can I make White Russians then for the?
There you go. You want to spike those White Russians? It's
a lot of facets to this situation. A lot of ins, a lot of outs, a lot of what have yous.
So it's going to be D&D 5.0, which is again the finest version of D&D to date because again it puts fun front. It's not super math heavy. It's not super tactical. It's about having fun with the D&D world. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to have fun.
Cool.
Yeah,
Yay.
I think I'm looking forward to that too. That's going to be a fun time. Good way to kick it off. We're going to do that on Wednesday night, actually.
Yep. Korean barbecue, D&D werewolf, and I'll be performing karaoke Thursday night at the The Wild Beaver. The Wild Beaver Bar.
Wild Beaver. We signed up for that as well.
Yes, so there will be karaoke action.
I hope you like Pat Benatar because that's all I can say. Sorry, I'm
a lot of Pat Benatar.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's going to be epic. And what are you looking forward to, Drac?
I think that D&D game we're going to play, other than like the whole role play, I'm scared to death of that part of it because I usually don't role play that much. So that's kind of out of my comfort zone, but we'll see. And I think actually just like hanging out with all of you in real life.
Mm-hmm.
Because, we have hung out in game, I mean, not just DDO, we play other games together that we always talk about. I think it's just going to be cool. And then most of you, I'm going to meet for the first time that I've never actually met in real life. So it's going to be pretty sweet, I think.
And just to assure you, I am as sexy as I sound.
Great. I was so worried about that.
Exactly.
All
exactly.
Right.
Put your fears aside. It's good.
So Gen Con. And then, of course, Lessa kind of mentioned it. There is a official DDO meetup, the Gathering for Bus, that happens every Friday night. There's a thread in the forum that they usually update and tell you where it's going to be. So I am going to be there for a little bit. I think I'm going to leave about the same time Lessa has because I have an event as well. So, yeah. But if you're at the D&D meetup, make sure you talk to all of us because we'll be there.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Got to be there early, though.
Yeah, exactly. If you come late, it's like, hey, where's all those people? They're gone.
Like,
They're gone.
Where is everybody? Hey, we had to leave. We had a game.
Wait, what night is that again?
Friday night.
Friday night.
Yeah, it's always on Friday night.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Every single time it stomps on one of my events, too.
I know mine, too. It starts at like 8 o'clock, and then it goes to like whenever. There's no like official end time.
Yeah.
But it's very like casual, come as you go, though. Like, I mean, if you can only come for 10 minutes, just come for 10 minutes. And if you can only come at like 10 o'clock, come at 10 o'clock. And if anybody's still there, hey, cool, people are still here. So another thing I guess we should mention is our community manager, Cordovan's going to be at Gen Con again this year.
Yeah?
What?
Jerry's going to be at Gen Con. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Oh.
Jerry gave me a DDO shirt a couple years ago. Wear it. Oh, so great.
Yeah, he talked about that on his weekly Wednesday live stream. He worked it out to where he could actually go. So I told him we're all going to have to get together at least one time.
Us.
Yeah, that's what I told him. I said we all have to like get together at some point and work it out somehow. So
I'm gonna have to bring some Japanese whiskey for him. He's got to try it. He was drinking the Jameson at the.
Well, that's it. Gifts for everyone now.
Yeah, that's right.
Gifts for everyone since Cordovan's going to be there.
Oh, Cordovan's gonna be there.
No, right? We're fangirling so hard. We have
So great. He's got the most epic hair.
He does.
He's like a rock star.
He's like Jesus with glasses.
Yeah. Fair. True story.
And on that note, how do we follow that up?
I don't know.
Let's talk about our weekend gaming. Yeah, hey, that's a good idea, Alessa. I'll start out because I didn't do as much as you. Well, I don't know. Maybe I did. DDO wise, the only thing I really did, unfortunately, is I only got to play Wednesday night, which is our weekly playthrough that I play with Pine Leaf, and we did the Web of Chaos, so that's the Lords of Dust, Servants of the Underlord, and Spinner of Shadows. Mm-hmm. We did that. I enjoy all those quests. I like that.
You like the Spinner of Shadows?
Yeah. Well, okay, that one I don't like.
I so like well. It.
It's not bad. It's fun. It's fun, but it's it just gets very tedious and annoying. It's like we got to go kill all these spiders and get all these things and light these things and go kill.
Play.
Well, it's true.
It's like, and you're kind of like in the play also, but in a really weird way.
Kind of in a weird,
like, what do you want me to do with these mortals? Yeah. Forget about them. They're just so insignificant that I don't even care if they live or die.
So, unfortunately, DDO-wise, that's all I did. Because Rent's cheating in another static group.
That's true. That's
just
true.
Saying. I'm not.
He's gone astray.
I blame Let.
See. Now the truth comes out.
Weak link in the chain.
So I'm sure Rent will talk about that, but yeah. Like our static group, we haven't played for like ever.
Forever, yeah.
And like there for a while, we were playing like a couple nights a week.
Mm-hmm. And then we kind of petered out, and then we got to really get back into that because we single-handedly are keeping
the game alive.
No, Wayfinder the server.
Wayfinder the server.
Yeah, it's just us.
Yeah.
It's us and the Germans.
Just the four of you.
Because we thought it would be
and
funny.
Like 10 Germans.
We thought it would be funny to do this on Wayfinder because Wayfinder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the entirety of the auction house takes up like 5 pages. It's like there's nobody on that.
Yeah.
You guys, you gotta put loot up there, and
every time we play, we're like, "Oh, Wayfinder."
We're obligated.
It's really hard to manipulate the market when there's no market.
I know, right? You're trying to massage a market that you're pretty much controlling your own self.
And then elsewhere in video games, I broke down and got Tom Clancy's The Division.
Yes!
Shooting people is fun.
Yeah, that game is so much fun. Oh my god, it was so fun.
So you had no idea.
No,
so when you're running down the street, have you been yelled at from the window yet?
Yes, I have.
What are you doing down there?
I asked Mithri, I'm like, what the hell was that? And she's like, oh, that dude in the window's yelling at you.
That's just New York.
Yeah,
it's fine.
New York. Then again, as I often do, I blame the damsels for this.
Mm-hmm. What?
Because you guys bought it and started talking about it on your show, and I'm like, okay, that game sounds fun.
It's fun.
And you kept talking about it, and I'm like, all right, so I put it on my wish list, and I waited, and it finally went on sale, and
you bought it.
I bought it, but technically, I got it for free.
What?
Because we have this gas station, at least here, I don't know if they're everywhere, called Speedway.
Oh, yeah.
And if you have their Speedy Rewards card, you get points for when you buy gas and you buy like crap in their store. And you can take those points and you can convert those points into stuff. And I always save enough points to convert my points into a Steam card.
Awesome. That's great.
So I had enough points because it was on sale to get a Steam card that would cover The Division. So I got it. I played it. Oh my God, it's hard.
It's gorgeous, though.
And it is.
It's so pretty.
Myth3 was telling me that it gets harder, and I'm like, it gets harder than what we did. Holy shnikes!
Loves that game.
I know. She was
more
like
than
super.
Any of us.
She was like super psyched. She goes, "Oh my God, you need to install it right now, and we're gonna play tonight." And I'm like, Okay, don't
Yeah.
yell at me anymore. I'll install it. I mean, yeah, she got like psyched out, but yeah, it's so fun.
I enjoyed the weapon modding.
Yeah, and then because I was looking at that and I'm like, oh my god, you can like mod, you can do. Oh, it's just it's fun. So,
Did you ever play Mass Effect 1?
some of it.
The weapon modding kind of reminds me of Mass Effect.
Yeah, it
mechanic.
reminds me of Mass Effect 1 too.
But yeah, the
Which was
weapon
fun.
modding and just shooting people and just
right,
the
it's just-
environments. It's so immersive. It's great.
But it is so gorgeous looking though. That game is oh my god, it looks like photoreal. Like it actually, it looks like you're in a movie.
Mhm.
I mean, that's how good the graphics are, and they have recreated New York wonderfully. We got out of, I think it's Brooklyn. You start out in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we finished that, and then we just got in to Manhattan, and that's where you have to rebuild that base and everything. And yeah, we're gonna start.
I
doing
have
that,
a little low-level character I can play with you.
Well,
There
see,
you
there
go.
we go.
Yeah.
See,
So
Awesome.
you get up to my level. I'm doing the quotation marks with my fingers because I'm really not that high level. I'm really
I like that. Up to my. Come on, get to my level.
get
Come on.
up to my level.
Yeah,
Drafted,
I think I'm only like 12 or 13. I'm
Okay,
really
yeah, I
not
think
that
we're like 4 because Miss started a new character, so.
There you
Yeah,
go.
that girl's got a stockpile of them.
She's got characters all over the place. All over
I
the
know,
place.
man.
She's already
Good,
like, okay, so we're playing Friday night again, right? And I'm like,
Oh my God.
sure.
If I'm off, I'll play. If I'm not
There you
working.
go.
Sweet.
Yeah,
I
because
hope
what
so,
is
yeah.
it, like up to a 3-man team, or can you have a 4?
Can
I've
we
only
have
seen
4?
3. I don't know. I've only seen 3, but I think you can have. Not sure.
If we can have 4, that would be ideal.
Yeah, it would. Yeah, it would. That would
Yeah.
be perfect.
Did
Because
Lessa
then-
tell you we gender swap characters?
Yes.
Oh, that's
yes.
right. Whenever
Yes.
Rent started playing, I renamed myself Rent to Ponderella, and he named himself Lessa of Two Evils. Or was it Two Weevils?
2 Lessa of 2 evils.
Yeah.
2 weevils. You didn't tell me that part.
I was stuck
Yeah.
with that name for a month, too.
Me too. And boy, did it confuse
It
everybody.
confused Mythery. She hated
He
it.
was so angry.
She was like,
Oh.
Rent! Lessa, wait, what? Ah!
Oh god, that's
It was
funny.
great.
The other little game I played is a little game called Subnautica.
Oh my God!
Did they sucker you into that too?
Yes! We
Did
were
they
Yeah,
you
well-
the nub!
Kind of, yeah. I had actually had it forever. I had got a press copy of it for review that I kind of forgot to do. And then then again, it's Lessa's fault, as everything usually
enabler.
is. She is. She started
The
talking
push-
about it,
push one's
and
free.
yeah, she's talking about Subnautica, and I'm like, oh crap, I have to like review that. So I installed it and I started playing it, and yeah, it's awesome, and I can see myself getting semi-addicted to it.
Oh, it really is.
That-
Super addicting.
Maybe 1 or 2 of us on this podcast might be addicted. Just saying.
I have 60 some odd Steam games in my repertoire, and that is the first game that I ever bothered to write a review for on Steam.
Really?
Really?
It basically says stop what you're doing right now and go play this game.
Mm. It's gorgeous too.
It's beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. I cannot get enough of it, even though I'm at the terrifying part where the terrifying part of terrifyingness that terrifies me.
Yeah, which
Like I'm gonna die.
I was
Any second.
talking to Lessa last night about that, and yeah, I'm not that far into it, and I already like had to like go down into this like little cave thing, and I got like maybe 4 seconds into it, and I heard a noise, and I'm like, nope, and I turned right around and left.
Nope.
And she's like, oh, it gets worse, and I'm like,
Oh, you
oh
don't even know.
hell no, it
Oh,
doesn't.
You don't even know. Oh god.
Because,
You
yeah,
do
I-
know.
I might have been 3 seconds down into that tunnel, and I heard the most terrifying noise, and I'm like, nope, not doing it. Screw and that.
Yes. They're all out to
so-
kill you. Everything
Yeah,
down there.
exactly.
Everything wants to
Exactly.
face on a different level.
And then the other thing I did is we started playing 7 Days to Die again.
Yay!
We haven't played that forever. We decided to
I know.
restart our server. And why we came up with Jupiter this time, I don't know. We had a much cooler name last time.
Yes.
I-
Hot mess.
Hot mess.
Yeah, Hot Mess was awesome.
That was a fun playthrough because we weren't. I was true to the rules and I didn't talk to anybody until I ran into people.
Oh god,
And-
did you run into me
Yeah.
first?
That was, I think we had to wipe that server.
Oh
Yeah,
that's right.
yeah,
had
we
to wipe that
did.
You were
server,
the
right?
person that I ran into, and I
Something
talked to you
happened. I
after
don't
that.
remember what happened.
Yeah, something happened. We had to wipe that server. So the
Mhm,
first person I ran into might have been Catamir,
Mhm.
because I claimed a town for my own self, and I put signs all over it. And then I was at my trader, and I heard somebody shooting because it said Lessa is here outside
Yeah.
of the trader, and I heard somebody shooting a gun outside of the trader, and it was Cad. I guess he just decided he was going to go out and find me, and he did. Because like 20 minutes after we start a server, like he's got already 500 iron, and he's already got
does.
he's already built himself a mini bike.
It's
and
it's
working
insane.
on cement.
Starts an
and-
Uber service. You can pick people
yeah,
up.
pretty much.
But yeah, we are kind of doing the same rules we did before. You can't friend each other until you find each
Mhm,
other.
yep.
And
I think 4 of us have found each other
yeah,
already, though.
I think so.
Yeah.
I love that game. It's like
still
riding
not
a bike.
me. I'm still all
Yeah.
by myself.
I know. Rent is over there living on top of a rock.
Under a rock, thank you.
He's living
Under a rock.
Sorry.
Too much daylight.
Too much.
So yeah. And then I think we're gonna restart again pretty soon, actually, because
Oh, yeah, 'cause the update.
the new update for 7 Days to Die, the version 17 is supposed to be out soon-ish. They haven't set a date, and
So-
I'm looking forward to that because that actually
Yeah.
adds like vehicles you can ride in.
Yes.
What?
So that's gonna be
Run zombies
awesome.
Yeah, we got to do that.
Yeah, heck yeah, we do. So was my week. So how about you, Lessa? Besides Subnautica, spoiler alert.
Yeah, I played quite a bit of DDO this week, actually. With I have my regular Monday static group. We're up to level 15. It's our third life. PD Halls of Valhalla. So this is a permadeath, and I'm the cleric. And honestly, they're to the point now where they're just sort of coasting. If it's an elite quest, they don't really need me that much. None of them listen to this show, so I can say whatever I want. But so if it's just unless we're doing Reaper, if we're doing Reaper, I have to be on my game. But if we're not doing Reaper and it's an elite quest, I'm like, okay, they don't really need me. So I'm like, I put my mic up, I just follow them around, and I put like an audiobook or something on in the other screen and listen while I follow them and act like I am helping. So this is a great cleric life. I'm like,
Throw a heal every now and again. It's like, yeah, see, I helped.
I don't
man.
throw a heal if they're on elites. I'll do the aura, the healing aura, and I'll just like go.
You're like, come to me. I'm not
I'll
moving.
go close to them. It's fine. And they always joke that the ranger in our party is the real healer anyway because he's faster than I am. So, if they're really in trouble, then I have to sit up and pay attention. But otherwise, nah. It's fine. We're in coasting mode, and we're going to the giant hold, which all those are fun and familiar quests, like wearing a super old jacket or sneakers or whatever.
Favorite area, Giant Hold.
Yeah,
Love
exactly.
that area the most.
Exactly. We tried the Gamsels tried Bobble the Saga raid in Ravenloft this past weekend. It went horribly
Sideways?
wrong. Yeah, sideways. Big house sat on us in turn, killed us all. It was great. It was super fun.
Nice.
I recommend it to everyone. Let's see. Oh my gosh, yeah, I've played more Subnautica. I'm in my hardcore mode where I only get one life.
So
So
if you
if
die,
I-
you're dead?
It's like Minecraft hardcore.
It's insane.
If I die, they're gonna erase everything.
No.
I lose it
No.
all.
I couldn't believe when
that's
she said
not-
it actually erases your game, though. It's like
Yeah.
you're done.
You're done. It's game over, man. It's game over.
No.
I'm like, that's
Oh, no.
insane
I don't know. I
to
haven't
me.
died yet, but I did. I built a really nice base, and every time I look at it, I'm like, oh, if I die, I'm gonna lose all of this. So
See, like, I
Yeah.
upgraded the crap out of my Seamoth, and I'm like, I'm afraid to take
yeah, because you don't want to lose it.
Yeah. It's too shiny.
Pro-
It's got too much
Pro
stuff.
tip: go with your headlights off.
Mm.
Drive with
Mhm.
your lights off. If you are in a safe sort of a shallow area where you're not really afraid, then you can or you're in a cave, then yeah, you can turn your headlights on, but don't turn your headlights on in the more dangerous places because you're just asking for a Leviathan class predator to come and eat you. Just no, don't do it. I couldn't believe you just drove your submarine down there like it was nothing.
Well,
You just have no fear at all. It's like, this guy is insane.
Leviathan ain't gonna come out of
And
that cave.
why are you shocked about this? You've watched him play 7 Days to
know.
Die. You've seen the stuff he does in 7 Days to Die.
Crazy.
He's not. He has no fear.
Yeah.
Did
I
you-
also played. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say Leslie was watching me with the Leviathan.
Yeah, I was watching him.
Leviathan's over in the distance. I'm like,
Leviathan's
I'm
just
mining.
over in front of him. He's like mining in the prawn suit, and Leviathan's just chilling out in front. Like, what did you tame him or something? You throw him a treat or something like that?
I don't know.
You're
I
gonna
don't
have
bother
to drive
him.
that big bad submarine across that room. You know that, right?
No, I took the prawn suit. I boogied across the floor. I know. Duck and weave, serpentine.
You're doing it so wrong. All wrong. Everything.
Let me
is wrong.
backseat Subnautica
I know,
play for you
right?
right now.
Right,
Yep.
right. He's playing the game wrong. Oh, and I got my daughter addicted to Civilization 5.
Yay!
I know, right?
That's the
I was
best
like,
thing you
And
could have
you
done.
people,
Here,
you-
sit down and let me teach you how to play this game. And then, like 3:00 in the morning, she's like, "I love this game. It's great." And then, so I'm like, "Okay, let me tell my friends." So I tell my friends my daughter is down with Civ 5. So, bam, that opened up the whole everything. We're like,
yeah,
"All right,
like-
let's play a game."
like all of a sudden, like we have this like text chat group that like goes on. All of a
Mhm.
sudden, my phone starts like blowing up, and I'm like, "What in the hell is going on?" And it's like all this like hardcore session planning for this Civ 5, like, and I'm like, "What is going on right now?"
Oh, we've got 2 games that we need to finish.
Mhm.
One parent and child versus parent child. It's me and my daughter versus Rent and his daughter. And I believe that Japan is owning us all.
Oh, my daughter's
At the
just
moment.
crushing. Her
She
score
is
is like
Ruthless. If she decides to take any of us out, we're going down.
What? And that's
The
the thing.
end.
She's not belligerent at all. She's like, I just want my
She's just
people to
like,
be wet felt
I
and
just
wet
want
felt
my-
and happy.
People to be happy. I'm gonna take over this. So yeah, no, my daughter's not like that at all. She got a little taste of blood in her mouth for
Oh,
battle, and now she can't get enough taking
Mhm.
over cities and other countries, and she's just a warmonger.
Yeah, I thought I thought me and Lessa Jr. were cool, and then next thing I know, war.
Next thing you know, war! Good God, y'all!
Oh,
Oh,
Nope.
wow.
Nope. It's gonna be a bloodbath. I
Yeah.
think
It
next
is,
time we
dude.
log in. I think me and you are going down.
seriously, we are absolutely going down because me and the continent. I have like no defenses. Oh no, me and Lessa Jr. We're cool. She's not gonna do nothing.
Yeah, I
We're-
took my primitive weaponry across the ocean, and now it's all gone. Dude, she wiped it out in one
Oh,
round.
man.
Wow.
I thought we had the 38th parallel, and she
Yeah, no.
marched right over it. Like it was
Marched,
nothing.
yep. I know. It's just she's like, this country's mine. This is
Mm-hmm.
a nice country you got here. It'd be a shame if something happened to it.
She's like, this city-state bothers me. I'm taking it. It's in the way.
You looked at me
That's-
wrong.
That's pretty damn impressive, though. Actually, I mean, that's
Yeah,
yeah.
she's pretty good.
Meanwhile,
she's
male,
definitely smoking me.
Meanwhile, maintaining a super happy population. I don't get it.
Yeah, I don't get it. She's
Everybody
like,
loves
oh,
her.
my happiness is down to 50, and I'm like, what? What? I can barely keep mine above 0.
Oh,
Two
God.
turns away from anarchy at any given point.
I
and she's
know,
got
right?
Super happy people.
Freaking barbarians with muskets on my southern border.
Yep. They've got better tech than I do.
It's Alexander's fault somehow, but I can't figure out how.
It's Tay. He's been paying people.
He needs to go down. He needs to be put down like a rabid, wild animal.
Yeah. He's selling Stark tech to the natives. It's terrible.
Yeah, he is. Oh, God. He's privatized world peace.
Exactly.
All right, that was my week.
Ah, yes. It's a lovely, lovely week.
Yeah,
In my week, Subnautica.
Yeah.
Damn Subnautica.
I know. It's
I
my
tried to
fault.
avoid it.
Sorry.
It is your fault. It's like, I don't know, like every other word out of your mouth is so, so
It's
Subnautica.
always Les's fault. Everything is Les's fault.
So, I played it. I'm like, oh, this is interesting. 20 hours later, I can't stop.
I can't stop.
Can't go to bed. I'm like lying awake in bed. I'm like, what shall I build next?
What
I
shall
need some
I
more
do?
room.
Now I'm gonna build an outbuilding over on the east side with a scanner room so that I can find more stuff.
Exactly. Find more stuff, build more stuff, to find more stuff, to build more stuff.
Exactly.
Terrible. So between Subnautica and then DDO, playing some DDO with the Reaper Madness static group.
Cheater.
So I know, I'm such a terrible person. And Reaper Madness, we're really, and this is just a precursor. We're not even into it. We're trying to get to we started at level 0, and we're going all the way up to 20 before we start doing serious Reaper. So like everything we're doing now is just like Reaper 3.
I would just say, what like skull level are you guys on?
Yeah,
then?
level 3 skull. We're just kind of going through to get through.
And Saba's actually allowing that? She's like automatically not going in like, like hardcore highest.
No, because
I'm impressed.
Because Myth wants to get to 20, so it's just a matter of risk versus reward. So we just want the XP to get to 20. Once we hit 20, then hardcore 10 skulls all the time. So
oh
craziness.
Man.
Yep. And then Civ 5, parent-child, millennial versus non-millennial.
Yeah.
And then BattleTech. Oh, BattleTech. Such a great game. Drac, have you ever played the MechWarrior series?
Yes.
PC games?
A couple of them.
Okay. So did you know those MechWarrior games were based on a tabletop game?
Right, and I have played the actual tabletop game.
Oh, fantastic. So yeah, you have familiarity with it. So
yes.
Back in the day, I played BattleTech 2 in the 80s. And, had a love for that game. And that game has years and years of lore, paperback novels, the whole 9 yards. In fact, when Game of Thrones first came out, people were saying Game of Thrones is like BattleTech in medieval times. It was like, because there's some similarities there.
Yeah,
but anyway,
I can see it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So it's just great. BattleTech is just a fantastic franchise, fantastic storyline, and the PC game that just came out is the best PC version of the tabletop game. It's not Twitch based. It's you're not like running a joystick and clicking like crazy. It's a tactical tabletop turn-based game, and very rarely do you find a nice turn-based game on the PC. Everything is kind of like what is that, Dota or League of Legends or like twitchy speed-based kind of that sort of thing. But this is really, you can take your time. Every turn is a turn, and it's just a very rewarding game, especially if you're into that sort of BattleTech lore. And then finally, all of these games, if they have a VR component, I've tried to play it in VR with the Oculus Rift. Subnautica in VR, not a good idea. Ugh.
Oh,
I can only imagine.
No, it is super queasy because you're like, I'm underwater, I'm dying, there's things around me, I'm not happy. And even when I go back to playing it regularly on the PC, some of that queasiness will carry over, some of that motion sickiness. I'll be like,
you don't want that.
No. So yeah,
Yeah,
no.
I can't even imagine trying that in VR.
Yeah, it's super cool for about 2 minutes, and then it's like, no, get it off.
So what else have you tried in VR?
Star Trek Bridge Commander, which is cool. Have you heard of that, Bridge Commander?
Wait a minute, isn't this the game that you accidentally played with real people and embarrassed yourself?
I did. I'm the worst.
Okay, story time.
Oh my god. So anyway, I'm experimenting with this game. It's Star Trek Bridge Commander, where you are on the bridge of the Enterprise. You're either the captain, engineer, helm, or fire control or something. Anyway, you're one of those 4 roles, and you can play in VR. And I'm trying to get my settings straight. I'm trying to map my keys, and somehow I end up in a basically a waiting room. And I'm doing this in VR. And there's other guys at this table, and I'm hearing them talk. And I'm like, oh, well, hey guys. And one of them's like, so when does this start? Who's in charge? I'm like,
oh no,
I don't know.
Like in charge of what?
Right. And then I hit a button, and the next thing I know, the 4 of us are on the bridge, and I'm in the captain's chair.
Oh no!
And things are happening, and people are like, "What do we do?" I'm like, "I don't know. What do we do? Can somebody scan something?" and then they're survivors. Let's beam them aboard. I'm like, "Can you do that? do that?
You're the worst captain ever.
Beam them on board. That sounds good. Do that." And then things are happening, and all of a sudden, Klingons, of course, and they're shooting. I'm like, shields? Is that a thing? Do we have them? Turn them on? Shoot back? I don't know. And meanwhile, people are looking at me for guidance. And the worst is when you're playing VR, you'll look over and they're staring at you. You can see their faces looking to you for guidance. And I'm just throwing my hands up like a maniac. Like I have no idea. I'm like, do your jobs. I don't know.
Do your job. You're the captain.
That's amazing.
And I'm like, can we leave? Can we warp? Can we? I'm like,
can we warp?
And I'm like, and I have no idea what we're capable of. I have no idea what we can do. Next thing I know, we're just things are on fire, things are blowing up. It's just mass chaos. And next thing I know, shit blows up. Luckily, nobody was saying like crap. You know what I mean? I was just waiting for all the smack talk, but I'm like, no, shut down the computer. I don't even know how to exit the game. I'm just shut it all down. And then I just
worst captain ever.
Oh, worst captain ever. So now I'm just worried. Like in the Star Trek community,
you can't go back. People
I know it'll be like
exactly.
great game, but don't play with Rent to Pwn. I have no idea what.
Can you change your name?
I don't know.
Can you go in under an alias? Like not Rent?
Yes, I'm not Rent.
Not Rent.
Not Rent.
Not that guy. Another Rent to Pwn.
I know him. He sucks. It's not me.
Dude's the worst.
Worst captain in history.
Oh my god, it was just terrible.
Looking at you.
That's the worst though. I'm like looking over and they're turned around in their chairs. They're like, I'm like looking at me. I'm like, don't look at me. Make something happen. I don't know.
But you're the captain.
Oh, it's the worst. I don't want to go back.
Next time, be the science officer.
Oh god,
I would
that
like
is
to learn how to
amazing.
play maybe, but playing in VR is so weird though because like I said, I'm sitting there and when you play in VR, your hands are your hands. And so people will see you like waving frantically. It's just so weird. It's just so weird playing in VR. But yes,
just
that
amazing.
was my week. Thank you for bringing up a painful memory. Too soon. Too soon.
Hashtag too soon.
Oh, man. To the Star Trek community, I apologize.
I'm sorry.
I'm not worthy.
Hashtag Rent, not the captain. This is not the captain you're looking for.
Hashtag I will make it better. Man.
Sorry, failure's the best teacher.
That's right.
That was my Kobayashi Maru right there.
We currently have 18 supporters over on our Patreon. If you'd like to help support whatever the show was, you can simply go to the donations page where you can help support us and our network that we are a part of, the Players Alliance, over on our Patreon. You can find rewards, which we are getting ready to retool to make them better. Some of the rewards right now include a mention on the podcast of your choice, or you can even be a guest for an episode on this very podcast, if you would like to. We did not receive any iTunes reviews this week, but we would love your support over on iTunes as well. And the reason why I say that is because most people do not realize the more reviews you have, the higher you show up in searches. So if somebody searches for a DDO, we will rank higher if we get some more reviews. So it just helps gets our show out there, and of course DDO itself, and also tabletop and everything. And we do have a featured comment this week. No email this week, but our featured comment is from Mock Taskmaster, and he commented on the Marble Strikes Teams post. I'm sorry. He says he's loving hero clicks and is certainly going to give the new look a game. Look out for the new game demo at Gen Con. That is assuming they are going to show it up there, as they're not doing HeroClix events at Gen Con this year. And he added a sad face. And the reason why I'm messing this up is Lessa keeps like highlighting this different colors.
I'm sorry.
And moving things around. And I'm like,
I didn't move any. I didn't do it.
You're like, it's
He's
like
all over it.
I thought I was having an epileptic seizure or something for a minute because I'm seeing colors and I'm like, what the hell is happening? It's fine. the wonders of Google Docs when people can just take control of them. So I said we have no emails. I got trolled by Lessa. That was awesome. We have no emails this week. You can contact us by email at podcast@ddoplayers.com. If you want to follow us on Twitter, our network is at Players Ally. DDO Players is at DDO Players. I am at Draculetta_72. Still ticked off somebody has Draculetta and is not using it. Give it up. Give it to me. I've messaged them and I haven't. I don't even think the person is alive that has it anymore.
Oh, that person, that they're evil. Evil.
They created it like at the very dawn of Twitter and has never tweeted ever.
The worst.
And I'm like, give me the name. Anyway, I digress. Pineleaf, who is normally on the show as well, can be found at Pineleaf Needles. And if you want to watch me over on Twitch, where I usually play DDO very badly, sometimes, and I have a plan for Twitch, and it involves Lessa, but we can never work it out.
Oh yeah, the
Yeah.
Super Seducer game.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I have
we
this
can
like
work it out now that I have, a schedule.
Oh yeah. See, I had this like horrible game that they sent me a code for, and I have to review it. It's called Super Seducer.
Yes,
Oh, yes.
please.
And
yes, please.
I was like telling Les about it, and she was like, "Oh my God, this game is not serious." And I'm like, "Yes, it is." And I said, "The only thing that is going to make this great is if you're on the Twitch with me and you're commenting as I'm playing this game."
Oh yeah.
It is a dating simulator, I guess, where you're trying to like pick up women, and it gives you tips on how to do it. But it is so bad.
It's a Me Too trainer.
It is. It's horrible. Wow. He went right there. He didn't pause. He didn't even. I'm just gonna say this. So that's going to be happening sometimes over on my Twitch, and that is twitch.tv/Draculetta_72. And you can follow our guest, Alyssa. Where can they follow you?
Well, we do a podcast bi-weekly, every other week. You can follow us over at damselsofddo.com. We're also proud members of the DDO livestream team, where we also Twitch with the DDO channel, twitch.tv/DDO stream bi-weekly. And you can follow me on Twitter. I'm at Les. Super easy. Yeah. Nobody gets to follow Rent, though.
Yeah, no. I'm part of the Illuminati. I just control.
Yeah, he does. He just controls everything from afar.
Yeah. Such a bore. But yeah.
Yeah, I guess I didn't actually give you a chance to talk about the damsels at all. I mean, if you wanted to, you can.
I did talk about it. Yeah, okay. Just now. Like we're good.
We're good. Solid.
Yeah.
So, Ren, you want to give anything for anybody to follow? Or just,
actually, I
hiding in the shadows.
Yeah, no, I'll just continue lurking in the shadows.
He's underneath his rock.
Underneath my rock, I'm happy. It's not like I tweet. It's not like I throw stuff up on Instagram. I don't even know what my.
Yet he's responsible for so much.
I know, it's so weird.
He has so much power.
Such is the burden of the Illuminati.
I know, right?
But anyway, thank you, sir. Thank you, sir, for having me. Definitely, everybody who's listening should absolutely Patreon sponsor this page.
Heck yeah.
And
heck yeah, they should.
Because if you like what you hear, support it. If you don't, blame me.
Because this ain't cheap, I'm just saying. There's like web hosting. Anyway. Mm-hmm. The Players Alliance does have other shows. On Monday nights at 8:30 p.m. normally is DDO Players News. Saturday nights at 8:30 p.m. Eastern is Lotra Players News. Every other Thursday at 9:30 p.m. Eastern is our general gaming show, XP Quest. And then the first Tuesday of every month at 9:30 p.m. Eastern is our video game music show, Chromatic Bits. You can find all those shows over on our page. Just go to ddoplayers.com/live, and that's how you can listen to the show. Yeah,
I know. I was like, what?
Yeah, we have a video game music show.
That's cool.
And it is hosted by, okay, brace yourself. You ready for this? DJ Pimp Daddy.
Do you know what my DJ name is?
What is your DJ name?
Yellow Snow. My
Well, how
my
did you
first
come
album is
up with
Don't Eat Me.
Wow. That's
DJ
where we're going to
Yellowsnow.
end it. Right there.
Okay.
Don't eat me.
I'm gonna book that DJ.
DJ Yellow Snow.
I want him to turn some tracks in my next event.
That's right. That's right.
All right. I don't know where to go from here. We're just going to end the show before it goes any more off
anything
the
else weird
rails.
happens.
That's right. It's getting a little weird now.
Yeah.
All right. So thanks for joining us, and we'll talk to you next week.